hello there. Nice and slow morning-ish so far. Hi! Welcome to the Albert Inn, where we usually play TTRPGs and have a hoot. Today we are making a mappy. Specifically of a specific region of Iridai. As you can see, I've got a plain stuff right now. It's just a bunch of blue. That is because we are doing the States of Optulla, which... Ooh, I'm on some track still. I would explain why this circle was so small. But States of Optulla is almost entirely landlocked, so this entire thing is going to be green at the end of the day. Then we're going to need to do some removing on this side for the coastal region of it. But it's longer than it is taller. And it's going to be divided into specific regions itself. I've no easy way of showing the map of Iridai to you. I didn't think about that. Should've. Oh well. That should be fairly easy to do, right? Right? Sure. Now we want the subtract, and now we want it to be smaller. So we can get the fine lines. The finer details of life. Oh, how's everyone doing? It's Christmas Eve or Holidays Eve or Yuletide Eve, Winter Solstice Eve, or probably not Winter Solstice. I don't know exactly when that is, but probably not on the same day, right? It might be on the same day. Let's take a look-see. Winter Solstice. I was on the 21st, never mind. Yeah, that was a few days ago. The day where the shortest day of the year happened. That's already gone. It's been a thing. Now it's over. Happy post-winter solstice, I suppose. 24th. Oh, last day before we take a nice, good long breaky. Good needed break. Hope everyone's good though on their ends of things. No, I'm quite well tired. But that is a-okay. I've been working away. There we go. There needs to be a nice little... That's more like it. That looks good. What is that called? Peninsula? I always want to call it an inlet, but no, I know that's not right. That doesn't feel right down there. This also doesn't feel right. Let's add that all back. That bit's correct. I know that. Maybe a little bit more pointy, actually. Let's get rid of some more of these bits so I can make that a bit more of a pointed aspect to it. And shrink this down because that's too big again. Pointed upwards. Nice, there we go. That looks good, doesn't it? And this, it's much more zoomed in. It's going to be forested down here. It's going to be less so part of it. But it needs to wrap up in this area. Let's get a little painter, give myself an idea of what that's going to look like more appropriately. Here we go. Okay, so this, all the Globshack marshes. A little bit of a whoop and a little bit of a whoop there. Very good. Not blended in the slightest, but that is perfectly fine. And then snow region, let's pop that up here because it's supposed to be. Not blended again. That's okay. We'll blend it when it needs to be blended. And make a little wastelandy look over on this side so we're clear. Because they've got mountains over here, that's where the Norwalk Empire is. Frostland's up here and the Globshack Marsh is down here. On this side is water in this region. I'm moving the mouse extremely fast. Sorry if that's giving anyone sicknesses on that. That's my sensitivity though on my mouse. That's how I like it. Whoop, I'm in a different screen. Whoop, I'm in a different screen. And I didn't have to pick up my hand. Yay. always find it strange when someone's got extremely slow sensitivity. It feels weird to me. Okay, let's go in a little bit there. And then up and around? Sure. Oh, round it off a little bit there. Maybe I've given too much region down there. Because that's a good chunky of the glob shacks that we don't necessarily need. Or maybe it's something I just need to adjust inside the actual map itself. Maybe that. Maybe that aspect. Yeah, we'll get to it. It's a terrible mentality. We'll get to it. Oh, that's why it looks off. Maybe I need to start a new map, actually. It's not long enough. That's why. Yeah. We're going to abandon this one and start a new one. Great start, huh? That is okay. Start a new map. Actually, now that we're over here. Here you go. This is the region we're working on. What's up, Hans? How you doing? Yeah, boy, with a natty 20. Your cranberry juice dropping in for a lurk. Thanks for the lurk, Hans. Lurk away. Yeah, so this needs to be very long. Needs to include the hollow lake. Good little chunky of the mountains. So a lot longer than it needed to be tall. Which basically means... I didn't quite have everything in the right configuration. Let's go back to here. Custom. Now I had it at 60. Maybe we up that to 80. And we lower this down to 25. Because it's very long. And not very tall. That feels closer. Much closer. Let's go with that. Let's try it. See what it feels like. Add in the earth. Good start. Perfect. Let's get that wasteland lucky. Go away there. There we go. So it needs to include that little hollow lake, which actually we can add right now-ish. Boom. Yeah, that looks good. Nice. Yeah, of course some of this is going to get adjusted. Now, if only I had a measurer, I'd be able to actually... I think I might have actually already put this into the Roll20s. Which if I have, then isn't that delicious? Let's up that a little bit. There we go. Hey, I have. That's delicious. Fairly sure I got the measuring on. That's right. That's over 1,000 miles long. Even better. Even better. Lower that down a little bit. Make it a large continent. Okay. No, that's all happening closer towards the top of where Hollow Lake is going to be appearing. There we go. That's the frame of reference I needed. And whoop. Sure. That looks good. Let's go off there. Ooh, actually, let's make that a clean getaway. Maybe leave a little island. Yeah, there we go. Nah. We'll add some artificial islands. Just little tiny ones. Itty bitty. Itty bitty like that. And there. Oh, sure. Now you want to get louder. Zombie on set is all over the place in noise. Boom. There we go. Alright. Hollow Lake taken care of. Maybe add a little bit up here. Make it a bit more edgy in places and less round. As we all know, we never want an edgelord for a lake. Ooh, that would just be weird. Most of that is going to be good old jungle. But I think the rest of it is going to be just pretty much edging all the way. Except for this. Hollow Lake is in that nice little area. Being in between mountains and jungle, it's probably going to be the most difficult place to handle for what it looks like. Give me this lovely little green. And let's zoom in a bit. Because you are going to need to wrap around like that-ish. Yeah. There we go. Of course, it doesn't have to be super perfect or on point, because when you're doing bigger maps of bigger regions, you've got to remember these are created by people who are actually drawing, so nothing is perfect. Not every cartographer is going to agree on the exact same configuration of how it should look. Tell you what we should do. That. There we go. Now it looks a bit more natural, so to speak. That, though, is still looking a bit off to me. Maybe add a few more dotties there. There we go. Maybe a bit better. This region. I'm going to be unhappy with this region probably the entire time. I'll suffer. I'll find a way and I'll make it work. It's right up to around there. We're going to be blending right where all that edge is. There's going to be so much blending going on there. Right, second frame of reference. Where is the bottomless reserve? Again, kind of focusing on the top there. Let's create a pathway. Give myself an idea of what the top looks like. Doesn't have to be clean. Clean is... And roughly on the map, we're looking 535-ish. How far from Dressbridge, which is up in this region? Okay, about 130 or so. So let's plop that right there. Bottomless reserve. Do a little addy to make it imperfect. Like I didn't just randomly click in a section and say, hey, that's right. Do it like Navi. Hey, listen. There we go. Pathway not needed anymore. Alright. General looks. Snow region up there. Up at the top in the north. Mountain regions in the west. Globshack marshes to the south. And I cannot remember the name of the sea to the East. Gosh, I'm great in my directions, aren't I? I always have to remember the naughty elephant shoots water, going clockwise. But the green area is all our state of Optulla. And it is a nice long map. Oh, I'm getting messages from my father. We've had really cold weather over here, and my car is unfortunately not in a garage, which basically means it has difficulty starting in -degree weather. But thankfully, today is 42 Fahrenheit, so it's fairly good. Oh, yes. And where I'm going, apparently there's been a string of car thieves. Delicious. That's actually not delicious, that's just not even delightful. That is just a pain in the rear. Right. Let's get some stampies in here for the major city locations. As I always use, big compasses. Because we like compasses. Right, this one. Oh, right, I'm not clicked into this region. Ah, go away. That one goes there. One's going to go there. One's going to roughly go there. One will go here. Let's drag over. Got another there and another there. Perfection. Now all these regions, they're all managed and governed by different lords or ladies. They're going to be sectioned off like, kind of like what you'd imagine the states, the United States to be, or the borders between each state. Like they all work together, they all work under one generic government, but they're all very single entities, very separate. The question is how are you going to divide those out, yeah? Bottomless Reserve needs to be in Stitcherith regions. Maybe I should add names. Let's add names, shall we? I'm fail English. Alright, cool. Okay, let's pop you there, pop you there, pop you there, pop you there, there, and there. And we can mess around with the size. Maybe we want it to be 18. Yeah, 18 sounds right. Maybe I should have done a, copy and paste. Yeah, that sounds like an easier plan. Popping down. Look at me being so indecisive. Actually, I'm being decisive, but then changing my mind. Alright, here is that's not how you spell it. Stitcherith. A little bit of a curve? No, wrong way. Give me a -25. -20? -15. That's better. I'm happy with that. Stitcherith. That's the region that's actually most important right now. And we throw you there. What's up, Happy Ninja? Thanks for the lurk. How you be? How's life? I don't know why I'm asking that now that you've hit the lurk bit and we're just really listening. Boop, 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 boop. Now, obviously, they're not all called Stitcherith. That's just the general format of what I want things to look like. I want the names to look like. This one. Gosh, my typing skills are on point today. I think my brain's already gone on holiday mode. Not yet, brain. Not yet. Little Siri. Farewell. Or farewell. It's argued. No one agrees on how to say that city name. It's one of the bitter points of living there. Everyone gets the name wrong. Especially on this one. Who's gonna get that right? No one. Think Leicester. Here, I'll type out what Leicester spelled like in... Oh, gosh. See, I can't even spell Leicester. Ah, see, yes. I even spelled that wrong. Boom. Oh, the English language is fun to say and fun to write and type with. Add a few more little bitties, like this one. I'm going to change the opacity to... I do believe it needs to be... There we go. Get rid of that curve. So this one we are going to twist. Ooh, someone's slamming microwave doors. Things be slamming. Bottomless. Reserve. That's reserver. Yep, there we go. Plop you in there. Do control pasty. Put that over there. This one we're going to make go the other way. And call it Hollow Lake. That's late. See? Typing skills. On point. Actually, we can make you a bit bigger. Yeah. Very good. Those are the things that matter. Ish. Oh, actually, nah, we'll do that later. We'll add the actual name of this organization, governmental organization later. The States of Optulla. For now, we want to go into this pathway key. Find a nice little, well, I say little. Make sure it's going to be very obvious. See? There you go. Very obvious. And then divide things by the regions of what the lords and ladies are going to be governing themselves. Now, see, I haven't even fully decided. I think I'm going to call it Anchester. And it's going to frustrate people so much, Anchester. That is going to look more like taking up from this region, moving around. There's not going to be very much. Now, one key thing I'm going to want to take into consideration is making sure I get these areas as well. It's fully out to make it very clear that, yeah, that's not States of Optulla land. That's Frostlands. Their governance is stopping in those regions. Whoop. And then a whoop. This is going to look weird. I might actually change after a while, but it's okay. We'll get it changed when it needs to be changed. Manchester's not going to have that much of a region because it's governed by a general and it's really just a frontline defense, separate from Flota for a very pointed reason. Not region. Let's think. Let's have a little thinky. How is everything else going to get divvied out? Let's actually divvy this. Bottomless reserve needs to all be within the regions of Stithrith. This one might be the largest. There we go. Erosiri is just basically farmland. Let's start the disconnection from there. Shiny. Dressbridge. Maybe, yeah, Dressbridge. Let's go with them being the largest territory. That actually feels right. They've got one of the Monumental 6 guilds inside the area, so yeah, Maker the Censor.
But for the rest of it, you gotta do thingies.
We could try to do a bit more of a Kansas City kind of Oklahoma kind of feel. Put Firewall right on the borderline. Like that. Doesn't have to be perfect. Maybe, though, no, changing around that whole aspect. Let's just bubble this one out. Like that. Let's change that boundary. I think that's what I'm getting hung up on. There we go. Give it a little bit more space, a little bit more region, but you've got armies to host inside that area, so...
Makes sense, right? Sure. Sure it does.
Oh, it also would make sense that I've got it a little too low. No. I just want the name and this. Put you closer to the border, shall we? Flonta doesn't really need that much region, though, does it? Oop. Let's move you a little bit closer. Let's take Firewell. Move them actually a little farther away. Because then we can take this. Oh, gross. And we can do that. And then we can... Oh, nope. There we go. We can give Erosire a bit more room. This is going to be specific region, these areas, I suppose. You are too close to not being at the northern border. Now you're too close to the northern border. Let's move you down a little bit. There we go. That's better. I like it. Alright, where do we start? Now that we got our hollow points out there, let's start moving over here. Add some nice shiny mountains. Do I have mountains? I do have mountains. Here they are. Oh, hello. There's quite a few in there. And of course, they're super small. We want them to be bigger. Much bigger. Let's be right up to it. Cover those regions. Oop. It's a bit too pointy, isn't it? Let's decrease the size and put a smaller mountain there. And put a different one there. Very good. There we go. Maybe do a little bit of a blendy. Let's lower that down. That looks better. Having the tokens in there, always a help. Most of the states of Optulla is just basically hill land. Not very many mountains. Like you might add a couple semi-mountain looking regions inside that spot. But you don't want to go overboard. I still feel like that might be a little too naked though. Add a few more. Let's add one down there. That looks out of place. Let's move it. Let's move it up. Does that look normal? Maybe there's a different one to use. Ah, there is. Let's place one so it stays put. Go. Bye-bye. Goodbye, mountains. You were nice to have inside there for the time that I used you. However, I no longer need you, as I am going a different path. Here I am saying you don't want to go overboard, and maybe I'm going overboard. That's fine, we can fix it later. Or, we can choose to do a blendy. Like this. Undo some of that blending I did beforehand, but gotta make the mountain regions look like they're creeping, right? Not necessarily. It's just the way I like to do it. Very good. These are colorations. I actually want tokens. Now, is there? Nope. It's probably not. Which means I probably need to find a new way of signifying. That's a dwarven tower. A dwarven tower could work. It's got the right kind of feely to it. Well, there are dwarves in the area, so that's really bad logic to justify. Maybe let's leave them for now, but I might get rid of those. They look kind of out of place. I'm just not right. Right. We'll be doing a bit of a shorter stream today, mainly because I have life things that I need to get organized still. I'm driving out of the parents' house tonight, so that I don't have to do that tomorrow. Because we've got family all over the place. Time zones. Gonna have to be up early in the morning. Okay. This is what we need to do now. Decrease that size. Oh. Size 15. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Make these ones bigger. Make it very apparent that they are the big cities. And these ones, just right click, make sure we're not adjusting. We don't need the encampments, do we? No, we don't. Plus, there's no way they would know. So let's put 2 little cities out there. Maybe actually we use a different compass as well. Change the stylization just a smidge. Yeah, let's use that. I forgot to click somewhere to make sure that it held on to that, see? That's what happens. Boop, boop. one more. It might be too many. Oh well. Yeah, it's too many. Put you there. Put you here. Do another one there and do another one there. We are going to find some rune things and put a rune one over on that side. These ones are more farming communities. So really it's more farmland in these spots. All that because I wanted to put... Ooh, hello. Weird little glitchy. There we go. That feels better. That's too much of a line, isn't it? One more? Right there? Spotted and polka dotted with a bunch of little tiny city places. That seems right. Yeah? Maybe not. Maybe not indeed. Ah, it's done it again. Did I accidentally click that in? I did. Let's move you down there. Move you over there. Lots of little towns. Isn't that nice? Gotta head out. Need to finish up a lot. See you tomorrow. Yeah, see you tomorrow, Heavy Ninja. Definitely enjoy finishing up your late minute stuff. I have the same things. I need to straighten my beard. It's way too curly. And I need to get the right length so I can do a trimming and get rid of those nasty splitty ends, because, ugh, that weather recently asked for nothing but split ends. As me harp on about beard maintenance. It's worth it, everyone. It's worth it. It's better than shaving every day, I'll tell you that much. Oh, screw that. Alright. Idusiri, we need to make it look watery. In regions, at the very least. It doesn't have to be lakey, just needs to be watery. If that makes any sense. Which really doesn't too much. We might have to accomplish that through some paints. That's all ice and snow. Hopping back and forth between regions. That's always good, right? Right, so the opacity's there. Because they're not quite marshlands, because they're not. But it is more waterlogged than the other parts. And some of these dynamics of the regions don't make too much sense, do they? But that's the reason. They're supposed to not make too much sense. There's supposed to be a nice little air of mystery as to why the land is looking like the way it is. Keeps people on their toes. That's not going to be desert land, but it does need to be dried up and dead looking in these spots. Less green. It's going to add a little bit of a blend effect in there. Of course, we're going to have a little crossover. Just smidgens. I will not be working on this map at all during the break. Because it's actually going to be a break. I'm going to be sleeping probably most of it. Catching up on those nice sleep rays, hopefully. Right on the border of the watery areas. This is dried up looking. It's got that effect to it. Might have to adjust it and play around a little bit with it in the future. We're going to kind of try to blend this in just a little bit more raggedly. Up through the Stitchriff area. For reasons. Stitchriff is supposed to be very green, lush and lovely. Probably the more heavily forested regions that we're dealing with in these spots. Sides out there right next to the glob shacks, and we need to work on doing a couple of blendy bits. It's pocketed, doesn't look perfect, but perfection does not exist, so you always need to do your best and acknowledge and be happy when you've done your best. Let's make that look weird. There we go. Like that bit. Can make that blended bit more now, can't I? And always remember there are going to be tokens put on the map as well. So your blend job definitely doesn't need to be perfect, because the tokens are going to help disguise a good chunk of that. There we go. There's a couple of bits in here I'm not too happy with or don't like too much, but I might actually just straight up cover them with some tokens. Because I don't need to have it be perfect. And what we are going to do is we are going to subtract random little globules in here. And most of those are going to be covered up, most likely. But that's all Globshack Marsh territory, not actually Desbridge. We could add a line. I think that's actually what's making me most unhappy about up here. It's a line being there. Let's get rid of it. This could be obvious, should be obvious at the very least. Now that is no longer States of Optulla territory. It should be, but you never actually know. Oh, alright. Posture check, everyone. My posture was just real bad. Do a little stretchy, because, you know, stretching, that's healthy. Oh. Ah. And finish it up with a nice drink from coffee. Okay. Actually, I'm growing on these towers being there. Growing on it. Still not, you know, 100% happy, but gives me ideas of how to adjust.
Greenhouse.
Let's make them bigger. Start plopping through. Zoom out a little bit. Oh, it's done it again. Nice. Hey, 2 came out from that one and it looks good. Hills peter off. die away a little bit. Let's see if there's another one we might be able to... There we go. Nope. Till we reach these regions where everything is pretty much flat. Oh, actually, I do have some more hilly terrain. We might actually turn those to... Where are the mountains again? These guys. These guys. These guys? Nah. Oh, I see, that's big. Maybe we'll do a couple of mountains in here for the funsies of it. Yeah, let's do some mountains up in these regions. For the funsies. 'Cause we can. That makes, you know, limited sense. There is a mountain off to the northeast of this coast, that way. There is no way of doing directional stuff. From Desbridge, that is. Could be what makes this area very defended, is having that. Say defended. But it's not defended. Well, it is defended. Like a natural defense. There we go. Might change that later. Might stick with it. Feel like one of those photos of felt cute, might delete later, lol. Felt like a good idea, might delete later, lol. Looks super empty right now. Let's add some trees. Where are those trees? Ooh, green pine. First, let's find... Scusi. Where are my jungle trees? Or marsh trees? Oh gosh, hiccups. Jungle, palm, swamp. That's what we're looking for. Gotta make them bigger. Come on. You can do it. Very good. Now, before we go hog wild on this, let's actually save. Boop, 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 boop. Shiny. Alright, how's everyone doing in the chatsies? How's the lives? Any big plans for the holiday? Anything for New Year's? I know I actually finally for once in my whole adult career life have plans on New Year's Eve that do not involve working. Usually I have been in service industry, restaurants, that kind of stuff. So I've been just work. Not able to enjoy it in a non-work sense. This year, I will be chillaxing. Playing some games, and I recently found a childhood game that I played a lot when I was growing up, called the Great Dalmuti. That is a fun game. Been out of print for a while, and suddenly now it's back in print. Got a couple of copies. So I was very excited. Alright, let's make this not look clean for the... by randomly spurting, and it still looks clean. That's where you go through and randomly delete tokens you've plopped down. Because this is going to transition into probably a palm trees? Not palm trees. Pine trees. Let's go with pine trees. Nice forested region. Ooh, actually. Let's get distracted for a second, shall we? Crunch! What's up, Crunch? Using Incarnate. That's the software. I find it very enjoyable. I like it. It runs very smoothly and has got a lot of really nice looking tokens. Those are old looking runes. I don't want old looking runes. But it's got a lot of resources you can do. It's for rights to use and sell everything you create on it. Really, really affordable. And once you created it, it's basically yours for whatever you want to do with it. I definitely... Oh, wow, look at that. That's cool. They do holiday stuff like this. Fun. But I would recommend it. It's the one I have the most success with. I know there are other engines out there that are also really good. Like ones that you can create maps that will translate straight into Roll20 and Foundry. I think this one has the capability of doing that, but I usually keep it simple for myself and don't dabble with things that I'm not too familiar with. That needs to be there for a reason. This one though, it's very straightforward, easy to understand. Nice. Okay, got the line. Now for the tedious part of... Oh gosh. Yoicks. Filling in certain sections and trying to make it look like I am not just doing lines of trees like that. If there's a little pocket that's empty, oh, that's fine. We could do something with that. Add a tree to it. Take away a tree around it. Call it a wild opening. Now, I won't place any of the tokens unless there is a place to place it. But this is where the process can get a little boggy for the usage of the computer, because now it's thinking about all those hundreds of tokens I just put down.
Yay!
Boop, 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 boop. Which is okay, because I've not really got anything else running on the computer. It can handle it. You hear me, darling? Handle it. You're doing great. Just a little motivational speech to my computer. Keep it nice and knit and very close. See, like that tree. I'm not happy with that tree. We're going to take that and we're going to move you over there. Boom. That one's going to be... Actually, let's do a little outlet like that. Let's make myself happy with it. Make sure the hand is jittery, so it's going all over the place. Come on, come on, come on. Okay. Still placing tokens, so... Doesn't matter that it's permanently now on that hand-looking biddy. Doop. There we go. Made myself happy with that tree. Woo! Ah! Not what I wanted. Oh well. I'll get in there. I'll fix that later. Rather tedious part, but it makes the map look more fulfilling. And this is just a regional map. They're not actually going to start with any of these. What they will start with is a entire map of Iridae itself. Whereas the regional maps are things that they're going to have to pick up. If they go to the place, they're going to have to go and find someone who can, or who has one, or who can draw it out for them. And complete a commission for it. Because I don't know about any other DMs out there, but I know my table for one. The first thing they do, session 1. Alright, I'm going to go find a cartographer and I'm going to get a map of the region. Every single time, without fail. So, I'm making it more difficult. Got to be a little bit of an evil DM on that one. Make it a constant thing that they want to do. Find a cartographer that they like, commission it, come back to him later times, and get the map. Or find a cartographer who already has the map. And purchase it for him. For a higher price, because it's already been completed. And we all know, if they don't want to wait for it, make them pay more. At least that's my mentality. Now, I am getting trees that are inside these little bulky bits. That's not too much of a fuss, because these are marshlands. They technically are all inside bulky bits. The only reason the water bits there are added is to make it known and painfully obvious that this area is mostly marshlands. It's also why it's a darker green compared to everywhere else. Very unfriendly territories. There we go. Ah, see, look at that. That's added more character. But this line looks so unnatural. I'm actually probably going to go through and just scooch him in. Or actually, I'm going to change my mind on that scooching. I'm just going to go over, pick our lovely little pine trees, and start adding those. And let's lead this into, let's say, a forest. Let's make this a forest city, shall we? That sounds like a good idea. I see that line looks way too natural. Let's actually move my claw over. There we go. How are we going to connect this to there? Maybe by just adding some more random trees in, shall we? Yeah, let's do that. We have to give this forest a name, aren't we? How big of a forest is it as well? Come on. Oh, fine. I see how it is. Let's take a wider look. So obviously we're going to take some trees and plop them around here as well. Add some more character to these mountains. And perhaps we take this forest and we run it up. Let's find this pathway again. Let's turn it a bit more of a darker green. Now we can now why would it do that? Why wouldn't it just go straight up to the coastline? Let's make it go straight up to the coastline. Because we could peter off the trees a little bit. Because of deforestation. You know, that's a good point. Deforestation. We could add a very, very plain deforested region. Yeah, let's do that. Take it from... That seems like a natural point. From around here. Make this all deforested. Make it very plain. So, like, still put some trees. Because trees grow back. Maybe just in these bits. Closer to the mountains. Lumber yards. Oh, and shipping docks. Shipping yards too. That would be a prime reason as to why it's deforested. They cut down all those trees to make their lovely little boaties. Or ships. Never call them boats. I've been told. At the very least. These don't need to be super thick like that, because they're not super thick. But they do need to have plenty inside to make it obvious it is a nice forested region. But that's going to be a big forest. Very big forest. I'm down for it, though. Add more character to the region, because this is desperate. It's the most boring region. Let's face it. Don't need to keep to the pathways perfectly. Let's make parts of it a little bit thicker, though. You know, deep in the woods. Into the thick of it. That kind of idea. And the rest will kind of keep a little bit more open. Boop, 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 boop. Might add a few more. Let's add a few more. Let's make this region as forested. That little spot. There we go. And hills. Let's actually add some hills. Some basic ones. Little tiny small boys. Like these guys. Make them smaller. Boop. 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 Look at all that character. Okay, now let's get rid of the pathways we drew. Couple more trees. 93, that's what I thought. Add one in. Oh, you are size 93. Okay, cool. Nice and empty. I like that suggestion. Thank you, Chunk. Crunch. I don't know why you call you Chunk. Looked over and I saw. Okay, this bit. Don't like it. It's too green in that specific spot. So let's blend it down. And let's also take these lovely little harps and turn them down, because good heavens. Actually, deforestation point. Let's make this actually look like a fairly clean cut. Because these are primary military training grounds nowadays, because of the whole fight with the lovely Nawalk inside the mountains over here. So they're going to need the fuel, and they're probably dabbling a little bit into the marshlands for that. So that not perfect blend there. That could be there for a reason. Right. Posture check and hydrate everyone. That's right. Here, instead of you telling me posture check and telling me to hydrate, I tell you to posture check and hydrate. These pathways are all staying, because that's part of the map. Signifies the regions and what territories the lords and ladies are responsible for taking care of. Dressbridge has nice character. I like how that turned out. No, those mountains where I said I might delete later? Nah, I'm going to keep them. I like them. This needs work. It needs to look more lush and greeny. But instead of pine trees, we're going to add something else to it. A different kind of tree. Something more deciduous? Is that the word for it? Oh, there's evergreens too. I should have used some evergreens. Beige. Common grass green trees. Okay. Those we can plop. No, these are all... Ah, well, a couple of areas. Yeah, like here. Less, you know, farmed spots. Most of the territory is all farmed. A lot of the food for your diet used to come out from these areas. But now, they're pretty much cut off of everywhere else. So we can add a couple of forested spots. Gotta let the land grow and... what's the word? Renutrate itself. That's the reason why you rotate crops. Because if you keep a crop in one spot for too long, you actually end up wearing the land out. And you start getting less of a crop yield. I know things, certain things, randomly. These bits, it's dangerous to have that kind of stuff, so I might just be adding random shrubbery, less so forested spots. Like... no, green brush. In just random locations. Because in these areas, they farm a creature called a groob, which is like a worm type thing, and they take it dry and turn it into a ground meal to add to their meals. Very high in nutrition, keeps people warm during cold nights, and is in general dangerous if you let the groob grow into groobmushk. Groobmushk is a big worm-like thing. They're dangerous. Not fun to encounter. Definitely not fun to encounter. So that is actually probably exactly what you'd expect. Right there. Bland, boring, very simple. Very easy. Let's take a few more of these trees and bound it over a little bit more. And then do a switching between the two. There we go. Truss bridge, nice and forested. You need a very simple forest. Let's put that there. Clumps of trees. We got all our clots. Our clumps of trees, always be looking for them clots. Ooh, that was a weird jump. Oh, I put a random tree over there too. Yeah, let's make a tri-corner forest. Haha. Now let's go to our lovely little common green trees. And start adding some more. into these lands. Don't want to go too overboard in foresty stuff. In fact, actually, I'll probably take... Nope. Gonna have to get a little focused up on there. There's probably an easy way to do this, but meh. Can't be bothered. Can't fully be bothered to take a look-see into it. Because it's just as easy to do that. In my mind. Let's make this spot nice and green, shall we? Oop. There we go. Draw the connection. A little bit more of a thicket there. That sounds nice and close to the Gloob Marsh. Glob Shack. I don't know why I called it Gloob Marsh. Blep. All the lovely dangers and things inside there. Tasty. And let's get rid of those. Make it look like that. Say goodbye to that tree, goodbye to that one, goodbye to that one, that one, that one, and that one. And maybe that one. And that one. How about you? Yep. And do that one. Needs a few more colourful things. Studsrith region is missing something. We can add some bushes. Always got to remember someone hand drew this, so if it's over detailed, then someone spent a lot of time on it. Oh, stretch. That's a good one. The more time they spend, the pricier it's going to be. Say this much, what we do need to add are some snow pines up here. And where is the snowy mountains? Boop. Very good. We can call there to be a little bit of a creep. Like that. Ish. Let's zoom out again. This area will be nice and deforested as well. For them to have made extra warehouses for supplies to be stored and all that lovely nonsense. Okay. Now let's remove some random bits in here, shall we? No? Let's get rid of that tree. show some of these pockets of marsh. Is there another one over here? There was. That one's going to be more violent for reasons. I say violent, it's more open and visible. I think for today, the last thing we're really going to do is try to name these cities. For the most part, everything's down. I'm still going to have to do some random little placements of tokens here and there when the time is needed. But the city names are more importante. There is going to be a nice little... Let's find a... See, it all says dwarven, but meh. Let's use this. And shrink it down quite a bit. And plop it there. We'll take a name. Make it 12 in size? Nope. Nope. How about 8 in size? 8 in size, that looks better. And what are we calling these people? Messengers of peace for now. That's not peace, that's peace. That's oh gosh. Typing skills. On point today. Messengers of peace. They'll probably actually get a proper name later on, but for now, that's the name they're getting. That's going to be important lore for one of the characters that the table will be playing. So, and this actually, that needs... What did I call that? Oh, that document's in the wrong page. Here we go. Do 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 do. Lifrink. Why do I do this to myself? There we go. That's better. Maybe. Let's move these guys over to here. Make them closer. Because this needs to be more important, so to speak. Okay. Yes, thank you very much. There we go. Let's plop you there. Let's plop you there. Plop. 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 Placement's not entirely perfect. That's okay though, when they get their names, they're going to be made more perfect. It'll get more accurate placement. There we go. Oh, one more. Hello. And we're going to put that there. Blob Shack Bandits. It's not how you spell bandits. Gosh, come on, fingers. Stop being this way. Let's take that negative 15, turn it into a 15 instead. Enter in on that bandit bit. Go to our selector. Give it a twisty. Opacity, let's make the opacity just straight 1. And why not? Because we can make them a different color. It's not what I wanted. Do we want to add a little token thingy thing saying Globshack Marshes? Yeah, we do. Globshack Marshlands. Say no to a curve. Make you the standard white. There we go. Actually, we could just straight put a 0 there. That'll be easier, wouldn't it? Placed. That's better. You are not runes. What are we going to call this city or small little town? Not a city, it's more of a town. Cities are the capital places which have the larger compass indicators. See, this is where I need that book, which I still, unfortunately, have not gotten. Is there a random city name generator? Never actually use the full names, but I like to use them more as a, what's the word? Inspiration for what I want to actually call things. Because I like mixing things up a little bit. I know these also have lore behind them, but that is okay, because once you have it created, it's a lot easier to make the lore. See, look at that. Placed better. Aturo. This one. Let's call this one something with an L. Because I'm feeling an L right now. I do a lot of LIs. Maybe an LA. How about Langtryk? Ludvane. Actually, Ludvane. Oh, let's put Ludvane. Let's put that here. Ludvin. Ludvane. We all know, whenever the players see it, the first time they pronounce it, that's probably going to be the way you're going to pronounce it the entire time. I had a city called Yark, and every time they said it, it always was Yark instead. They like having fun with names, but also like giving them weird names so that they can do that. Because it makes it entertaining, and then it makes the place hard to forget. Exactly, yeah. It makes it a lot easier for them to remember. A lot easier. I always do this. I always give myself a ton of places that need to be named. That is A-okay, though. Arguably, the bit that takes me the longest usually is the naming. You got the time. Actually, I'm going to do something with this one. I'm going to take this one, move it closer to Hollow Lake, and call it Hollow City. How unoriginal. After the lake. City or town? Town. Town's better. Town sounds better. 'Cause these are definitely cities. Who knows if that one's walled off? No idea. We'll find out when the lore gets created. Right, let's change regions. No, 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 no. Let's keep up. Just moving across the map. Can I get this to be... Yes, I can. There we go. The joys of a very long map over tall. This one, we're gonna call... Any thoughts? Thoughts? So, my thoughts are this is a commoner map, so to speak. So, any major fortifications, especially in a land that's really rife with war, the commoners are not going to be putting on maps, so they're not going to be common knowledge. You can ask about them and learn about their general locations, but you're not going to know exactly where forts are, so to speak. And for the most part, the land had been at peace for a very, very long time, so most of the forts have been more recommissioned as of lately. They've been out of use. So old and not necessarily necessary for commoners to know exactly where are. Less of a military map, more of a simple one. Especially in times of war, you definitely don't want the map to fall into the hands of the wrong people. Then they've got all your information. And that's just bad.
That's what we call poor planning.
But my own personal map, I will definitely need to have fort locations decided. Any big forts that everyone would have known about. That is fair, true. Like forts of old. Definitely places that had been known in the past. And this would be an area where they could feasibly put those on there. They wouldn't... Well, they would have been inhabited. Forts of old. I'll have to dabble with that idea. That's a... I'm writing that down. That's a thought. It's definitely thought. That might be more of a Kingdom of Balashtar region thing to have. But it would make sense that this would have a few as well. Some run down, some still kept up. Yee. Forts of old. And if I do that, if I end up adding forts to this map and changing some of the names around, what I'll basically do is take the city names we've developed for these cities and replace them in different locations. And then call forts. What the forts would be like. This one I could feasibly see this location being a fort. If that's the case, I would want to take a different icon. Stick and shoot at the theme. There are 3 compasses? Yeah. Well, 4, technically. I could take this one. Oh, wait, no, that is that one. Haha. No, it isn't. Is it? No, it isn't. Yeah. Could take a different compass and make it look different. Boop. Maybe increase the size a bit, because I've got these guys at 10. These ones at 15. Like if I turned it to a 13. It's not too much bigger, but it's bigger enough. Bigger enough. Oh no.
It disappeared because I got rid of the text. And when it disappears like that, you just can't find it again.
Okay. In the spirit of Yark, let's make Clonk. They will have fun with that name, won't they? Actually, let's put it in a region where they're going to want to be. No one wants to be in Flanter regions. Flanter's very aggressive these days. Unhappy with things. Homebrew! All homebrew. The whole idea of this world started as a book idea, because, but then I realized I'm god's awful at writing. So I turned it into a homebrew D&D campaign instead. Still good to use and share the ideas. Ooh. Ah, commercials. Let's see. Oh. Where is that? Oh, it doesn't even let me know when they're going to be done. Do 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 do. Eventually, that ad will end. Don't you love ads? No, we don't. We hate ads. But ads are necessary. Sadly, there's nothing I could do about that. Helps support everything we do. Like, we have to pay for a lot of things, and money, it doesn't grow on trees, sadly. Although I wish it did. If I had a money tree, goh, man, that would be dope. Ooh, I should make a money tree and just put it somewhere in this world, and if they happen upon it, they can have money grow on trees, literally. A golden tree of coins. Whatever you ask of it to make of the denomination of the place that you were going for the stamps or whatever it is, it can perfectly duplicate it, as long as you have a mirror image of what you can create. Ooh. That seems a little too strong to give to players.
Maybe taper off on that idea a little bit.
Oh, let's see. What is this? Oh, I've been given a thing to pick up in transit. Why? Being given last minute errands by... Hey, you're back. I also want a large kind of stout. Ah. Right. Yeah, it's a good thing I'm doing a shorter one today. I have lots to do before I get to my location tonight. And with it being warmer weather, it's going to freeze tonight, so the roads are going to be awful in the shorter days. I definitely don't want to be driving when it's dark. Right, yeah, all homebrewed World Crunch. Homebrewed started off as a book idea, but I'm an awful writer, so I created it as more of a campaign. Thoughts instead. Because it's easier to convey this stuff as D&D plots and D&D campaigns. You know, you let the players do the uncovering. You just have the lore in the background. Sticky note added. Faults of old. Could also think of different kinds of naming schemes. I might have to do a bit of a sit and wait so I can focus up the naming schemes around what they're doing on the different regions. Like, for all we know, these places could just straight up be called Community A, because these are all farmlands. They're less so of cities or towns, more of just general farming communities together. Thank you. There we go. How many spaces did I put in there? Too many. Oh, look, some not a good DM, but I love creating things. It's all the finer points of trouble. Yeah, it's getting the finer details. With the finer details, I usually find better success at sitting and waiting for a bit. Like, like, create the general map, like what we've done here. Get the map all placed out and things that you want to put down there. Shift things around as time goes by. But one of my maps, not that one. It's in here somewhere. Well, this one I've been sitting on for a while. Another one of the continents. I'll get around to finishing it at some point. But not the diagram. Here we are. This one. I've developed and changed so many times and added certain aspects like the Ebonil Bridge, names to each of the lakes, rivers, locations. That's off-centered. I'll have to fix that at some point. More finer details. Naming the individual islands too. Except for these ones, apparently. But then again, they're all part of the Osirid merchants, so maybe they don't need specific names. Still adding to it as well. Like, these need mountains and different looking things on them. These are just bland and sad looking. Who would ever want to live there? Big map, though. This continent's thousands of miles wide. Whoop. There we go. Scroll up. Edit the map again. Thank you for showing me the layers. Don't need to see that right now. This, feel like it's probably actually where my brain's going to get to for the day. I've already added a certain amount of character, which is important and good. I've added the area that needs to be. Gotten the bits that I can share with the player that's thinking about being from this region. Names of the towns are a little less important. Might be able to draw a little inspiration. For now, they're a little less important for now. I should add that aspect. It's very important. And because they will be important later on. To a degree. But then also rivers and lakes. Well, I've got some lakes, but adding a few rivers would be a smart idea, like water flows. It's just finding a way to make those make sense. Then again, you also don't really need them to fully make sense. It's a fantasy area, and this isn't a topographical map, it's just an up-down map. Topographical, that would explain things a lot more. Like rainfall. Rainfall is more prevalent here. Perhaps there are rivers and smaller lakes showing up in the Eroseri region, flowing down into the Firewell and into the Stitrith. Like what feeds the bottomless reserve? Where does the water come from? Does it come from these mountains? Or does it come from the rainfall that's constantly happening in here? How frequent are the rainfalls inside the Dressbridge locations? Do any larger bodies of water exist inside these areas? Do you have rivers coming down, like there might be another small one coming down from this region down into the Hollow Lake? Because obviously this Hollow Lake is fed by these mountains. This is what would make the most sense at the very least. Finer details. Getting into adding what I like to call the character of the map itself, which can be the more tedious parts. Naming things, you might think they're tedious, but naming's more of a, you just kind of sit there, throw some letterings together and say, yeah, that works. Because a nice fun thing about fantasy regions, nothing needs to actually look like a true English word like Eroseri. Is that a word? Nah, it's probably not. Or Dressbridge. That's probably not a word. Lifrink? That's not a word. Flanta. Makes me think of Fanta. Might have been one of the reasons why I named it that. It also adds to the character of the city or of the town. So you can come up with some interesting lore as to why it's called that. Like the States of Optulla. They're called the States of Optulla because with the previous lord of the Stuttrith region, can't remember what I fully named him, but it was Lord Optulla who proposed the idea of them being self-governed while they take care of the Nork Empire who are over on that side. In fact, actually, let's add Nork Empire. Boop, 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 boop. Make that go bye-bye. Throw you there. No, no, no. No. That is not what I wanted at all. Thank you. Oh, that's just gonna make it blend in, isn't it? Let's keep it white for now. Probably shrink it down. How about that? Yeah. Add a little less opacity. There we go. Now Winchester is more poppin' than the Nork Empire. Booyah. That seems right. We'll do something with these islands later. I think that's actually where I'm going to be calling it for the day. Because it's right before lovely holidays tomorrow, and I've been texted a whole list of things that I need to get and take care of before heading over to where I'm going to be for the night. Yikes. Thanks, Crunch. It's definitely a good start. I'm quite happy with where it is. Few things, few changes that didn't expect to happen, but that's the joys of doing focused regions. You get to understand the terrain that you're creating a whole lot more. And figure it out. Absolutely. Happy to. Glad to. It's the last one we have for the year. We are taking a week break from tomorrow, so the December 25th to January 1st. We will be off at the Albert Inn because it's nice relaxed time, and you always got to make sure you take time to relax and step back for a bit, help yourself recover, get some sleep. You know, when you that rare thing that we do these days, sleeping. For nowsies though, I am gonna toddle off. Happy holidays, you wonderful people. Happy holidays, Crunch. Enjoy whatever your activities are going to be. Thanks for hopping in. Bye.